morning and welcome to Blabbing for Britain. Looking forward to 2016 with myself and John. Hello, John. If you've not been here before, a quick tour. Top left of the screen, you can see the title of the show, which we can change at any time. If you want to promote the show to people on Twitter or Facebook, you can press either the light blue or dark blue button. If you want to embed this into your own website, you're free to do so. This is public airing. If you press the white button, then you can get the code to embed it into your website now, or you can embed the replay. On the right hand side, you can see everybody who's joined us and people who've gone on air, and at the bottom right you can see send a message, and you can enter text, and if you want to ask a question, you put /Q, and the question then moves across to the left hand side of the screen, and we can take it and answer it, and we'll answer any technical questions in relation to Blab or anything that we have knowledge of. Right. Finally, you'll see on the screen on our own pictures that there are two hands. If you click our pictures, then you're giving us props or applause, and we'll make it Burnley 3, Villa 3. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty good chance we'll both be in the same division next year.
I don't know. Yeah,
well, you look forward to promotion, and we'll get demoted. And
yeah, you're propping the league up at the moment, aren't you?
No.
We're
way behind everybody else. Yeah. I've decided I'm going to be a Walsall fan. I think that's.
Oh, right. Okay. You're going to change your allegiance.
Well, they're leading Division 1 or League 1, whatever it's called this week.
Yeah.
For the first time ever. And it's not for 1 week, it's for several weeks. So,
right, okay. Go Walsall. Pretty good. I mean, the Premiership's a bit of a strange fish this year, with the big teams getting beaten quite frequently. Manchester United and Mr. Van Gaal. I think that the problem is that the pressure is such to win, isn't it? On the top managers in the Premiership, they're paid big bucks and they've got to produce results. And for the 7 or 8 teams, top 4 is where they've got to be. And if you don't make it, then you're out. Very.
I was like all the others, though. I said, Ranieri, what the hell have they got that pensioner for at Leicester? But what a job he's done.
That's true. Yeah. And that's a triumph of teamwork over big name signings, isn't it? I think because he doesn't have the money that Man U and Arsenal have. Yeah.
Hi, Peter. Welcome, Peter.
Right. Okay. Well, talking points of the week has to be, or one of them anyway, is Mr. Chris Voss.
Am I allowed to repeat what I put on there?
We're on air, John.
I simply put, what a tosser, seeing as he kept talking about masturbating. So
the precept of this is that Chris Voss wrote a piece about how anybody who was using Blab or Periscope or Meerkat is doing it totally wrong, and the only way to do it is his way, and YouTube is the place to be, and YouTube is where he makes his bucks. And he said that anybody who uses Blab, to all intents and purposes, is a loser. Morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Yeah, good to see you.
I'm still in bed. I've been director first on Blab.
That's a first. Yeah. That's definitely a first. That's the last day of the year, Peter. You're going to be able to do what you want on the last day of the year. Yeah. So Chris Voss put this piece up saying that basically, if you wanted to make money, you weren't going to do it on Blab, Meerkat, or Periscope, and that you're doing it all wrong. And well, suffice it to say that the people got a little bit annoyed with him, and he scored what we would call in football parlance an own goal, because you can't tell people on Periscope and Meerkat and Blab what to do. That's why we're here. We're here because we're doing what we want to do, not what somebody else wants to do. And each of the platforms, Periscope, Meerkat, and Blab, has its own features, which YouTube doesn't have. It's all very well saying broadcast live on YouTube, but that's broadcasting, and that's what Chris does. Chris is a broadcaster, and he's looking for the largest audience. Now, I'm not going to argue that the largest audience isn't on YouTube, and possibly quite soon on Facebook video too. But if you're looking for social networking, then social networking isn't on YouTube. Social networking is here on Blab. This is the biggest step forward in 2015, to my mind, that we're able to network online in video, and this is just technically superb, and that's where it's at for me.
The thing, who is he, by the way? Is he a podcaster?
Yeah, his name is Chris Voss. Chris Voss Show, of the Chris Voss Show.
He is pretty big in the States.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is he American?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Hell yeah.
Carry on.
He reviews products, and he's got to the point where he's that big that people send him stuff to review.
All right. Okay.
Even really well-known manufacturers send him stuff to review.
Yeah.
In the electronics marketplace.
He's not quite Mr. Scoble, but he's in that league. His YouTube videos have attracted 42 million views.
Yeah.
Which is 42 million more than mine.
Yeah.
That's not true. 41 million.
I mean, no, some people do simple things and they stick at it and it grows, and yeah. Whose course did I get? Is it James? Is it Wedderburn? James Wedderburn?
Name rings a bell, yeah.
And he started off doing video training, and he's built up. I remember the 7th year, 7 years ago when he started, I got one of the courses, and he's fairly grown from that. So some people are going to make it in this sort of platforms. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know. I just come on and try and learn from others about different things. That's all, really, you know.
So, what's the weather like where you are, Peter? We've seen pretty terrible pictures on the internet and the telly.
The worst weather, floodings we've ever had. In fact, I'm singing tomorrow, but I'm going to have to find out how I'm going to go there, because there's sinkholes, there's bridges been breached, and it's a bit of a nightmare, actually, you know. So I'm glad I'm sitting in. Yeah, weather, but I've had a couple of calls with the pest control business already. I'm sure I'll get more, because all that water flooding, it makes rats and things run into buildings.
Yeah. So
it'll be my gain. Right. It's been pretty horrific. It's never stopped. So what else is on the agenda today then? Is there just us three?
There are
just
not very many people watching, so it looks like most people are doing what you're doing and lying in bed. It seems like everything, well, not everything, because the shops are open, but most businesses are closed until Monday.
Yeah.
That's it. They are. And it's just fallen well, because can you still see me?
Yeah.
It's fallen well, hasn't it, with Christmas Day and New Year's Day both being on a Friday. It's meant that companies, rather than having to shut down for 2 weeks, are only shutting down for sort of six working days.
Yeah. Doesn't make any difference to me. I'm on call all the time. No, but it's great having a couple of guys working for you. That's been great, you know.
Yeah.
I just feel so relaxed. I'm not even shaving for 3 days.
Well, I haven't shaved for a long time, but I'm going to get me a haircut and a beard trim today. So
yeah, right. It makes a big difference, does it? So, Blabbing for Britain. Okay, that's coming in. So
Kevin's arrived as well.
Yeah.
oh,
Now, the audience is building slowly. We'll reach 10 shortly, I'm sure. I'll just send a tweet out.
all right, okay. That's something I don't use at all now.
Twitter.
Yeah. I've got so much going on. I just don't have the time to deal with everything now, you know? All the things that I do, and I just don't use it. How beneficial is it to you?
In terms of promoting the show and a quick chat with people, it's just there. I mean, I don't go out of my way to tweet these days, it has to be said. But I use it to promote, to interact with other people, and to promote other people as well. If I see something I like, I will tweet it. If I see something I'm interested in, I'll tweet it, and that can bring up conversations. Most of the interaction I have at the moment is on Facebook, with postings on my wall and in the Prospect Networking group, you know, and the Blabberholics group, of course.
Is there a Blabberholics? That's a question for you then. So I'll put it to Stephen first. So you use Facebook for social, and do you integrate your business within the same page, or do you have a separate page, or what do you do?
Okay, I've got a business page for my translation software, Astrantia. I've got a business page for my online courses, 5-day push, and I've got a technical page as well. So what I try to do is keep those having separate from my personal side. I will, however, if I promote something, I put it on my personal page as well, but not every time. I tend to run them as separate entities, and it's I don't know. It's still a bit of a mystery, really. I mean, I think blocking's probably the only way, John. I think I haven't gone for Facebook ads yet to promote anything. I'm trying to do it manually, you know, sort of manually. What's your thoughts on Facebook?
I use it more socially. I sit and watch a TV, and I've got a Facebook page for my business, but it doesn't get all that much business. They're aware there. So what we're doing this year, I've got a new guy that's coming with me, and he's starting to video things that, insects and things when we're doing our work. And what I've found is I give a talk a couple of years ago. Now, what we're actually talking Toastmasters is don't use a lot of slides, etc.
Okay.
Yeah? And so this was the opposite. I give a talk about pest control. Near the end, I put on some pictures of cockroaches behind a fridge and things like that. Some horrific looking stuff. So I put a questionnaire out, and they come back and they says, "Oh, but I'd love to see more pictures." So I says, "Right." So people are quite fascinated with all these things, right? So that's what I've decided. I'm going to do more video and put on even more pictures, just to see, because people like gore. Here's a thing for you. Do you know people actually look at people getting earwax taken out? Millions. Have you seen there's a doctor called Dr. Popper, nice woman in America. She's got millions of views. She's deals with people's skin, and basically she's popping people's plukes and things and zits. Millions of viewers, and she's getting millions of views, and she's getting people going to the place.
Right. Well, yeah. If you put the word out, if you put the video out, then you get a reaction. Hopefully, yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to concentrate on videos, pictures, so people can see them, and hopefully people will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
What about you, John? What do you use it for?
I do most of my Facebook stuff in groups. I do have a personal Facebook page, and I have been playing with setting up a business page, but most of what I do is in groups. Right. There's probably 7 or 8 groups that I'm in every day.
Right, okay.
And they're very varied. Severn Valley Railway unofficial group, a small group called Prospect Networking, which is a group, and 2 allotment groups that I'm in regularly every day as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's social more than anything.
Right. So you don't really use Facebook to drive business to your...
I've got 2 pieces of business through being in Facebook groups.
Right, okay.
But I don't go out to use Facebook to get business.
Right, okay.
I don't do Facebook advertising, for instance. Which...
Oh, neither do I. It's bloody expensive. I tried it once and it cost me money by people just having a nosy.
Yeah.
I've boosted posters, but it's just not working for me at all. So no. I'll only be doing freebies on Facebook from now on.
Well, it's just a question of plugging away and getting people interested, and that takes time. And what you're using is time versus money. I mean, we do know somebody who's very successful with Facebook advertising. That's Peter Stewart, and he runs the 1,000-mile journeys
and Splash whitewater rafting.
Oh, right, that's up here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's near you. Well, not near you, but nearer you than we are.
Whitewater rafting this week.
No, he's been saying it's too dangerous.
Yeah, very, very dangerous. So adventure type business, things like that. I think that's probably the business. I notice people sell their books in it, sell their speaking courses in it. I've noticed somebody with that doing very well with that. It's Richard McCann. Know him? Do you know him?
Distant bells.
Richard McCann. Well, what he's famous for? Well, it's not famous, unfortunately. His mother was the first to be killed by the Yorkshire Ripper.
Right. Okay.
And then he set up a speaking career later on in life, and he's done very well out of it.
Yeah.
So he's in the PSA. So that's how I come across him, and he's done extraordinarily well. Looking at what he's done, very market orientated, and it's a lot of it's on Facebook, But I have bought things off Facebook as well by looking at links. Like I do a bit of cycling now, and I'll go and look at links and cycling stuff that comes in, and then go and look at the website and maybe purchase something later.
If you've got an ad which is the right place at the right time, then it will sell. Yeah. I mean, I bought a couple of Christmas presents from Facebook, being led on by Facebook ads to the website, and then taking a closer look and deciding. Yeah. And if the ads hadn't been there, I wouldn't have bought them.
Yeah. And also, what happened to me is people will retarget me, and eventually one of them will get me, like Brian Tracy. It's, Brian Tracy?
Yeah.
His advert keeps following me, and others that know that I'll link on to. But one day you just never know. But I won't be doing that one, that's for sure.
And talking about being followed by adverts, I went on the John Lewis website, looked at dishwashers, chatted with Celia, ordered one, and still now, 4 weeks, no, it's not quite 4 weeks, but almost 4 weeks since it's been installed, I'm still being chased by Facebook adverts for the very dishwasher that I've bought from John Lewis's, but the adverts are John Lewis's.
So is there a way to get rid of that?
Don't think so. I've tried all the obvious things like clearing cookies and things like that, and it still haunts me.
Yeah, the only thing you can't erase what's there, unfortunately, and it's coming from your surfing history. You can wipe it, but that wipes it on your cookie history. It doesn't wipe what's being held elsewhere, and people can just follow you. I'm being followed by Sun Tzu at the moment. Everywhere I go, I see a Sun Tzu advert.
Right, okay.
Unfortunate for you. Lyndon must be desperate for you.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, I do have a Sun Tzu landing page, which was free. But to get the analytics, you've got to pay. I ain't doing that.
No. For analytics of what? Facebook?
Well, the landing page, hits and conversions and so on. I just put a page up for the Blabs, with some of the videos on there, and a landing page on the do you want to be interviewed on Blab, and a link to the sign up page, which is a Google form.
Right.
So I don't know how it's working. Well, I do, but I'm not getting anything from it. So Sun Tzu, stop following me.
It's quite interesting. I use Clicky. You use Clicky to monitor?
No.
I've heard of it. Yeah, tell us a bit more about it.
Right, so Clicky, you get one free site, and instead of embedding a code, all you do is register your site with clicky.com.
Right, okay, yeah.
And basically you can go through all the analytics, and I find it quite easy to go on to. I can see if people have followed me because of Facebook. I can see I can see where all the traffics came from. Is it a mobile platform? Is it what type of browser they've used to look at me? I mean, most of my work now is over 50% is coming from a mobile platform. That tells me that. Just tells me everything about everybody that comes in. You know, is it their first visit? I find it's very, very good, and then you can register to other sites with it as well as a wee course that. But I think it's better than Google, easier to control rather than embedding codes and things like that. Yeah. Just register the website. Very good, very good.
Do you have a link to that, Peter? You can.
It's just simple as clicky.com.
Okay.
Clicky.com.
Excuse me a moment, guys.
Yeah, I found that really good. Yeah.
Okay. It's loading in the background. The internet's a bit slow this morning.
No problem.
Yeah. Welcome, Saul. If you want to join us on here in this last day of 2015, you're more than welcome to do so. That's a yes then. And Saul will be with us shortly. So clicky.com, web analytics in real time. I've got the URL. I'll just paste that in. Right. Okay. Hello, Saul. Good to see you.
Thank you.
And I wish you a happy New Year early.
Oh yes, it's something like we're like 4.5 hours from the new year.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it starts from your part of the world and then works its way around to us and then to America. Yeah.
So what are we doing in here?
We're just having a last chat of the year, and we're discussing anything that comes to mind. We've talked about Chris Voss, but we'll run past that one. We've talked about Clicky. We've talked about the weather in Scotland and the rest of the UK, and we're open to discuss anything at all today. There's no agenda. I mean, normally what we're here for on a Thursday morning is Blabbing for Britain, is to get people.
Who knows Sendable? Sendable in London.
Can you type SENDEBO?
I'll get the link. I'll get there. I'll make sure that I have it right. Yeah, it's Sendable. Total publishing platform.
Sendable.
Yeah, Sendable.
Yeah. Okay.
We just integrated with them, and so I had to. And as soon as I learned all about them, then I switched from WriteTag for my scheduler to Sendable for my for social media scheduling. Pretty powerful. They cover a lot of things. You guys all know Buffer, of course, right?
Yeah, we do.
So all the normal suspects, the LinkedIn, Google Plus, Facebook, Twitter, but they do WordPress.com, WordPress.org, Tumblr, Typepad, Instagram, YouTube. It's a comprehensive publishing. They're London, but they're I think a real up and comer. They don't get the credit that they probably deserve. You know how that goes.
True, yeah. I'll certainly take a look at that, and let's see what I can do. I did look 2-3 years ago, but it's always good to revisit, especially on the recommendation.
Oh, they're on fire. Yeah. Yes, they are not a sleeper. They are not a sleeper. Yeah. So just because you have Blabbing for Britain, and when I think of Britain, I think of where we just connected, right time with in Britain. So, Jon,
we all go back.
Jon, have we spoken before?
I have a feeling that we have, Saul. Yes.
I think it's in Twitter mainly.
You're in Japan, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's. I think you're someone that we've like a lot of things in Twitter and such. We bumped into each other, but I don't know if we've spoken before. So, yeah.
I think it's the first time on Blab, certainly. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're called Blabbing for Britain because we're trying to encourage people in Britain to blab. It's as simple as that.
And when we have some other good, we've got Kevin, and Kevin would like to join. Let's keep it English. We can kick out there's this Yank in here, and he can I can listen, you know.
No, we get the moment. What we'd like you to do, because we've known each other for a number of years through various online networks, is if you have just a moment to before I say this, I would love to interview on Blab in 2016 about right tag.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm not putting on the spot. You think about that.
I do that.
What plans do you have? What plans do you have for right tag in 2016?
Oh, the big thing is automation, a total automation dashboard that will actually encourage people to not automate everything.
Okay.
To engage.
On a conference call.
But also empower them to pull in media material from competitors, from accounts that they support, from their clients and such. Pull it in, auto enhance it all. Auto enhance, you'd have to know a little bit about right tag, but we rip into your post, decide what should be hashtags, or add them at the end. If there's an image we can add from a URL in there, we add it. If there isn't, then we create one for you, stuff like this, and then let you schedule over time a large quantity of posts. Right. So that's the big thing for 2016 will be automation.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, I certainly have a look at right tag. And
thank you.
As I say, if we get together in the new year, that would be brilliant. And sendable as well.
Right. Then we're coming up with this thing. It's for the English gentleman who's traveling, and he's looking for, say, an older single woman where he can stay with her, maybe little fun on the side. So this is going to be right slag. Sorry. Yeah. Well, it's already New Year's Eve here. I'm on like my 8th drink. Yes.
I did wonder for a moment where that was going.
Yeah.
This is live. We don't have it.
I don't do things. Even I don't do that in interviews when I'm recording. I watch my P's and Q's, but
I know.
But it's New Year's Eve, and when you all hang out, right? So
okay. Right. I think we've John's got to make a coffee.
Chris Voss might have come up with someone he was asking to look at right tag and like sending them a second reminder, and he hashtagged it right nag.
Oh, brilliant. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Nag in
Not
American means like to be pushy, right? To remind someone in a pushy manner. Yeah. So, okay.
Okay.
So what's new with you?
Basically, I'm as you've just heard, I'm doing the interviews on Blab. I'm keeping my software customers happy, and I've got some products that I'm going to be pushing in 2016. One of which is a dual language browser, so that if you're reading French newspaper, you've got the French on the right hand side, the English translation on the right. On the left, yep. So it's translated live, so you can read your favorite French newspaper, or Italian newspaper, or German. So that's a strand here. We did well with it, and then it got to drop it to come onto Blab. So I'm picking that up again, and then we've got an online course system called 5 Day Push, which I'll let you know more about once it's ready to go. We're sort of in the final throes of that. But it's certainly an exciting time to be around. I mean, Blab has certainly changed the way that I've networked these last couple of months.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's here the dynamics of how there can be more people than can be on video audio who are in the chat. Yeah. This is, for me, this is the killer feature. And just about nothing else is. Just coming from other things, they're playing catch up, but that's the killer feature. And then the other thing is simply the people who are on here, right? It's not time wasters. It's not, some real thinkers, some people who are building things, and people are collaborating. It's pretty wonderful.
That's right. Yeah.
So I want to jump out to let somebody else coming in. Yeah. If you wanted to ask something, go ahead. But
right. Okay. We wish you Happy New Year, Saul. We'll see you in 2016. Okay. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Bye.
Cheers. That was wonderful. We don't know who's going to join us, and it's good that Saul was able to come in then and tell us about his plans for Right Tag, which he is the CEO of, and is very big in the Twitterverse, in the Twitter world. And if you're looking to get your tweets out to the right people with the right tags on them, then Right Tag is the place to go, and Saul runs it. So if you have any questions about Right Tag, he's the person to go to, and I'm looking forward to interviewing him, hopefully in the new year, which is good. Yes, okay, so we've got the joke. My heart is recovered now. Yeah.
Sorry, I disappeared, but the dog was having a fit. It was the postman at the door.
Oh,
actually wanted to eat his leg, so
that's no good, John.
No, he wanted a parcel signed for. Actually, that's what she was making such a fuss.
Yeah.
And there's only me here at the moment. The other two are doing the same as Peter. They're in bed, but they're asleep. So.
Prepare.
Lost on Blab. Coffee in bed. Look, coffee.
And Copper as well. Hello.
Just locked the dog.
You see, when you've got a life for a superstar, you've got to get some rest.
Yeah. Okay. So, John, what are your plans for 2016?
My plans for 2016 are to get Saturday out the way, because it's a big day for me. Saturday, I'm 60 on Saturday.
All right.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, John. I'm looking backwards towards 60, so there's definitely nothing wrong with it. It's a big number.
My last plan for 2015 is to get my beard trimmed and my hair cut.
Hey, how's something you mentioned age? Right. I'm much prettier when I'm shaved and washed and things, right? But I was at my BNI club the other day, and I started to look around, and I thought, wow, I'm 56 in January, and I went, most of these people are in their 30s. Yeah, it was quite interesting to see that.
Yeah.
So,
It is. And the one thing about the internet is that age doesn't matter. It's attitude and whether you're willing to pitch in or not. And we've met, Jon and I know a lot of people who are in their 40s, and we're great friends with them. And the internet has shrunk the age gap.
yeah.
So it's only when you, as you say, when you're in the real world. And in the real world, once you've met online, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've got to know people. And we've got friends all around the world, or certainly, who we've met over the years. But yeah, you sort of every so often you think, we've been joined by Kevin. You think every so often, I wish I was. Well, now I'm happy being where I am and who I am and the age I am. I don't have a problem with that. But you do get it highlighted when you go to the BNI breakfast, etc.
So, Kevin, how's the weather been where you are in Scotland?
I think relative to maybe where Peter and other people are, it's been very good. It's not very nice. It's wet and windy, but it's nothing like some of the grim problems other people have had. I'm down in Stirling, Peter, so.
All right. Know a couple of people in that area. Yeah.
There's some local flooding, but nothing problematic, really.
Yeah. And what do you do, Kevin?
I was trying not to be flippant there, as little as possible.
I'll do that.
I retired about 6 years ago, so I wander around Scotland in a motorhome, and I come home for the winter, so I'm going to be back out on the road probably the odd weekend, but certainly by February.
All right, okay.
I'm a bit of a gypsy, really.
Always wanted to do that.
Yeah, well, I had this itch all through my working career to retire early, so I was able to do it eventually, or quite at a reasonable time. So, in saying that, my plan is I've been doing little bits and pieces of work for people, and I'm increasingly realising it's no bad thing to keep your mind active to do some stuff. And if I can do it from the van, but I was professionally involved in the health and social care, so I don't do any professional work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do any consultancy around management or business. I only do websites. I only do audio production. I only do things I'm hobby interested in.
Right, okay.
But I do that for payment in terms of, if it's a charity, I might do it for nothing. If it's a business, I might do it for the going rate. If it's somewhere in between, I'll do it for that. It's like a little ethical referral scheme. I only do it for people who ask me.
Right. All right. So you do websites and things, yeah?
Yeah, but I mean, I suppose everybody does these days, but I've been doing it since day one. I was on the internet, when I was about 18. I was building computers at the same time that the Sinclair ZX80 was being launched, and the BBC Micro and all these things. So I've been messing around with all of that ever since it started.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy doing WordPress sites and putting PCs together and stuff, but increasingly I'm more interested in audio and video stuff. So I do a little podcast on my travels, and I produce podcasts for a couple other people. So there's quite a few things I can do from the van, and I'm just thinking if I could stop the cash burn, get my site fees paid for, and perhaps some of the van, and I'll need to get a new van in the next year or two. I'm half thinking of going full time at some point, maybe wintering in Spain and France and places.
Yeah,
that's the plan. But I hate this time of year. I know people talk about New Year resolutions, but my year ends in terms of depression on the 22nd of December is the shortest day, and I rejoice every day thereafter. So we're already 5 minutes of extra daylight. Get another day. So
I've got to say, Kevin, that's the lifestyle that I wanted, but I can't have at the moment, just the way things were.
Well,
because I actually lost everything many years ago, so I've had to try and build back up again, and it's quite interesting. But my partner, she's retired and she's a nurse and she works in the bank. She's getting to go to her home. She goes away doing dog agility and things like that. I go in my bed till she was away, but it's quite interesting. That's why I've got my speaking business now. I really hope to build this year.
Well, people think I'm completely nuts, and I'm beginning to become convinced as well, because yeah, I was quite lucky. I was a senior manager in the public sector, and I went to the voluntary sector and did very well there. And then I ended up working in the private sector with private equity and built a big business in Scotland and took a stake in it at high risk to me when I invested in it. But I was the chief exec, so I managed to get out at 48. But my sense of getting out then was that, I took a conscious decision that I was going to, I suppose, what do you call that thing when they do the base jumping? I mean, I literally jumped from the top, knowing that it would be the end of my career. I would never get back in to work with these guys because they expect you to work night and day.
Yeah.
And also that I would be in a very frugal lifestyle for the rest of my days, because, it's very, very expensive to just have absolutely no income. So I buy a set of T-shirts once a year. I don't watch television. I don't consume other than my toys that I like for my gadgets. My only vice.
I must say, hey, listen, we've got a lot in common. We've got a lot in common.
But I really do cut my cloth. I mean, I don't cost much if there's a woman out there looking for somebody. No, that's what I cut my cloth because I stick to my own. I keep my own company most of the time. I got a little dog, but I go days. I mean, I sit out in beaches on the North Coast and go to the islands and do all sorts of stuff. And social media is the counterbalance, because there's a fine line between being on your own and being lonely. So
yeah, did you hear that tinkle?
Sorry.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
that noise there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
Not yet.
That tells me my call is going to the call center now. So that tells me that somebody's ringing my business, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And it goes to my call center, and then hopefully, while we're sitting here, my iPhone will come up with a message, and I'll look at it, and then I will mute myself. How do you mute me? How do I mute me, by the way?
Just yourself in your own square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just push the bell, and that means I can talk to the customer, then come back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going to test this now.
I'll just
Live testing.
But no, I've got to my stage that I've got two guys working for me just now, right? And but the problem I've got to know is I've still got to grow now, Yeah. And that's difficult growing, because most of my work comes off the internet and some networking, but mostly the internet. And I haven't done a direct marketing campaign for years. But I'm going to have to do it again. Go out and, instead of waiting for them to come to me, I'm going to have to go to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, be interested to see what works nowadays,
I think, live streaming's got a lot of potential to gain significant traction versus some of the previous versions of social media. My own experience with Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube was pretty typical. And then I discovered podcasting, and my podcast is in a different stratosphere from everything else. I've made so many friends, met so many people through my podcast.
Okay.
And then you come to live streaming, which is, podcasting's audio only and it's time shifted. It's one directional. Whereas this is live, interactive discussion. So
the
potential for live streaming to take people like you, Peter, to all sorts of opportunities. I think if people are prepared to come in front of the camera and deliver content, there's a great opportunity in a way that, I always think social media was, by definition, social media. The business leverage is often, it's the cuckoo in the nest for me. I desert platforms as the business people arrive because, without being too cynical, Facebook's a disaster for me now because it's just so full of tack, on the timeline. Just crappy videos and advertising. And so I'm like John, I'm involved in many, many groups in Facebook that are really valuable. I completely avoid my front page. I don't even look at it now. I go straight to the group I need to go to, and then I get off the platform as quickly as I can. So
that's interesting.
There's a sense that it's very difficult for a business to use social media sensitively and get the leverage it's looking for without actually destroying value, because it's social. People always say to me, what are you doing on social media? And I'm saying, I'm being sociable, for goodness sake. And it's such a novel idea to people in business that you would be on social media for a social media purpose, to actually make friends, connections, to meet people.
Right, guys, I'm going to wait to try this
That's
out.
the reason d'etre, really. So
I'm going to mute myself. Thanks very much
Okay.
for that, Kevin. I'm going to mute myself, and I need to phone this customer. This is a good one. If you see
Okay.
me running out of my bed, don't
well,
panic.
good luck.
Literally running his
I'm muted.
front bed, eh?
Yeah.
If you was to see what I'm
Yeah,
wearing.
I like
you
your
would-
commitment.
Right.
In bed at
Okay.
lunchtime.
Right. Okay.
I'll have to go to phone this one because you.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye,
Oh.
Peter. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I think the live streaming is an interesting thing. You know, that's
I agree. I mean, I'm looking to build on what I did in November and December with the Blab interviews. Now I've got another 7 lined up for January. Of course, I've got the Blabs every week, which is wonderful and most enjoyable. But I've lined up 7 people for next week, and what I'm hoping to do, as Blab stabilizes and improves, is to turn that into a small business by offering a tailored package where people can come on and be interviewed, and all the pre-show and post-show organisation is done for them, and they can then use the video that comes out of it for promotion. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. Apart from the fact I enjoy it, I feel at home here.
You know, what I would like to see is a lot more content, you know, and the problem here in part is people like me should be making the content. You know, we need more content creators. I think in sheer volume terms, there isn't enough content on the front page to maintain interest for some people. So you come in and I keep arriving at the bottom page without finding a Blab. I go back up second, third time, and before I finally decide I'd rather be in a Blab than not be, so I go into one.
Yeah.
And, you know, if there were, for instance, you know, if there was 25 travel Blabs on at any one time, that would be really exciting. If there was 25, you like allotments, you know, if there's 25 on, you know, a specific aspect of software development or bases, you could have you look at the scale of the social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter versus a micro platform like this. If we could get Blab shifting, then it really would take off. The problem, if you like, is just it's far too small at the moment. So I don't want to bring my audience, which isn't a huge number, but I don't want to bring them over here. Yet another call to action. You know, I keep saying to them, can you go to Facebook group? Can you go to Twitter? Can you do it? I'm not going to say, right, all come over to Blab and then find that they don't find other hooks here that are of interest to them. You can't bring them to one place just to hear me once a fortnight or something.
That's true. That's the whole problem, isn't it? You can't move people unless they have reasons outside the one you give them. Yeah. As Jon intimated earlier, we've got prospect networking on Facebook, and if I tried to move that anywhere, then it would I know it'd fail. There's no doubt about it, because you can put it on the site it goes to, put everything that's Facebook's got, plus whatever you want to add into the mix, but people will not go because they need more than one reason.
Yeah, and they're already there on Facebook, you know, and it serves them all sorts of content that they like, so they're not going to make all the effort to go to another platform for easily anyway. I think it'd be interesting to see what Facebook does with live streaming. You know, that will be interesting to see what happens there. Because the biggest barrier, I think, to Blab is just, you know, people aren't really ready yet to come on camera in sufficient numbers, and the etiquette isn't quite clear how it all works. And people, you know, I've introduced a lot of people to Blab and they've drifted away. They've said it's a great platform and then they don't come back. So,
indeed, I agree, and it's partly down to us to encourage people to come along. And hopefully in the new year we'll be able to do that, and we'll be able to say, okay, these shows are what, you know, you can actually learn from. As you said, if there were shows on here which are actually teaching, I mean, we've got cooking shows, and I'm hoping to bring, I don't like marketing myself, but I'm hoping to bring a cooking show, not with me, I hasten to add, but with Cornelia to Blab, and to get us started on running cooking shows on Blab. So there are things that we can do personally and things that we can do as a group. And as a group, if we keep doing these Blabs every week and pushing them out and get the word out.
Yeah. I think bringing in these new features that they've trailed already would be really helpful. You need to get beyond this talking heads thing. It's a big step forward to have live video, but my worry when I first came on was you're going to have all these guys like me with microphones stuffed in front of their face and gear, talking tech, and we've had an element of that, but surprisingly, or not surprisingly, when you look at Pinterest and Instagram things, but the platforms actually, from what stats I've looked at, is a slight majority of women on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really big encouraging thing, and I've seen lots of significant minority interest topics, from a social point of view, have come forward in terms of Blabs.
Yeah.
So it's there's plenty of signs of encouragement if it could be just taken forward a little bit. I would like to bring in. I was experimenting that other day on here with the other camera, the wireless webcam on my phone.
Yeah.
So when I get in my van, I'll be using two boxes at least. But if they bring these new features in, I'd like to just toggle between a landscape view of current weather outside, or where I was, or a tripod I go out and show you around, and then nip back in the van and go to the other camera, drop one of the cameras when I need 4 squares or whatever. There's lots could happen if we could just get a little bit more functionality on the screens, like your cookery program. A couple of camera angles, or some diagrams or recipe, ingredients or whatever it is, would be really helpful.
Well, I think one of the things that has struck me as well is that Blab are responsive and they do listen.
Yeah.
And they are doing things behind the scenes. I mean, when they brought the beta, did the live alpha test the other week, I all praise to them for bringing something that wasn't quite ready to the public. But they are doing a lot of things, and I think it can only go from strength to strength.
Did you see the screen share feature?
I did, yes.
Across the top.
Yeah.
So that looks quite good.
It does. There's a lot of things which will improve it and help us make more. All right, I'm going to, if we say thank you to it, so switch recording off, because once we start, if we keep recording, people they're only watching 5 minutes of our blabbing on YouTube. So if we pause the recording now, and then we can bring people in if they wish to join us off there. Thank you for everybody who's joined in, John.
Yeah, nice to see you the other side of the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Next Thursday, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks thank you to you two for hosting the Blab in the first place and promoting Blabbing for Britain. That's been a good initiative. So I've enjoyed coming onto the show, and I really wish everybody every success for 2016.
I echo John and Kevin's thoughts. Wish everyone a great 2016, and we look forward to seeing you Blabbing for Britain every Thursday at 10 a.m. And I'm going to stop recording now. So thank you.